Hello and welcome to today's news analysis. We are doing the Indian Express papers Chandigarh edition. Now, in today's newspaper, the most important topic is quantum dots. Nobel Prize in Chemistry is given for the work in quantum dots. And quantum dots is nothing but nanotechnology or nanoparticles which exhibit different properties from their parent element. So we'll cover this. It happens to be the last article. Okay. Then we have the United Nations Population Fund, which has given a report about aging population. So India aging report. So that is the recent report which we have. Now, obviously, issues concerning aging population, elderly population, so all that is important. Besides, we will get to know about the glacial lakes. So glacial lake outburst took place recently. So a lot of topics are there, indigenization in the defense sector, what measures are there. So all that we will study. So coming to the first news now from the front page. So first of all, we hear about Aam Aadmi Party's MP being arrested by the Enforcement Directorate on the charge of money laundering. So Enforcement Directorate basically enforces the Prevention of Money Laundering Act. So allegation is that in the Delhi excise policy case, Delhi excise policy is nothing but it is associated with liquor. So there is an allegation that the ruling party in Delhi had manipulated the excise policy in such a way that it favors certain people. So corruption, basically. So Sanjay Singh, Manish Sisodia, etc., they have been taken into custody. Fine, so that is the main issue. Okay. Now there is another, on the next page, the same topic is repeated. So there the Supreme Court is hearing this issue. So here the court has basically said to the center that why you have not added the political party as an accused. You have added these people, but you have not added the political party, that is Aam Aadmi Party, because end of the day, these people, if they have done something wrong, these people are working at the behest of the political party so that the political party gets funding. Okay, so that's the allegation. Next, you must have heard already about the issue of Newsclick. So it's a news channel on the YouTube. So Newsclick's premises were recently raided by police and ED. So they were raided by the ED and the police. Why? Allegation is that this Newsclick is receiving funding from China. Nothing wrong. Morally, maybe, yes. So they're receiving money from China, and this money is routed through the US. And this is a case of money laundering, right? So money has been laundered and it is coming to Newsclick agency. Newsclick agency, which happens to be highly critical of the ruling party in power. It's fine. So critical dissident news channel. Okay, so money laundering is a theme which can be asked in the GS3. Now, the founders of the new Newsclick have also been arrested under the grounds of the Unlawful Activities Prevention Act on the anti-terror laws. Why? Because it is alleged that the money that they're getting, this is being used to fund left-wing extremism, right? So it is being linked with this militant organization, left-wing extremism. So that is also there. Plus, the news articles that are coming, which are highly critical of the government, it is being said that they are putting in anti-national content, right? Anti-national content. It is anti-establishment. It is promoting left ideology, which is the on-ground presence is the left-wing extremism. So it's making a case for the left-wing extremist activities that is taking place in other parts of the country, red corridor area. Fine, so that's the basic allegations that has been made. So let us see how how we should prepare for the mains examination from here. So first thing could be that we said it is critical. So Article 19, right, freedom of speech and expression and use of tools like Unlawful Activities Prevention Act, Money Laundering Act. Now these are very stringent laws, and when these laws are applied, especially Unlawful Activities Prevention Act, it is an anti-terror law. So there is difficult conditions for, let's say, meeting a lawyer, getting a bail, etc. So in the editorial opinion section, it says that yes, maybe these things are wrong, but don't deny the due process. That is what the article says, because with this due process, in fact, we have news reports that lawyers are not able to meet the concerned people. Okay, so that's one thing. Article 19, freedom of speech, freedom of press. So that thing we can pick up. We don't have to really go into this issue of Newsclick as such. So first thing identified. Next, money laundering. So money laundering you can prepare separately also in GS3. Repeatedly questions are asked on this topic, on the money laundering issue. Now, besides money laundering, we have the issue of course, left-wing extremism. Now here we see that, let's say the allegations are true, we see that there is a news agency or something in the urban setup which is forming a propaganda for the left-wing extremism. Right, so propaganda, or we can also say that it is providing for funding for the left-wing extremism. I'm saying if these are allegations, okay. So this, you can link it with urban naxalism, right? So a few days back, I had explained to you urban naxalism. So urban naxalism emerges, Article 19 emerges, money laundering. In 2019, in the mains paper, question about Unlawful Activities Prevention Act was also asked. So you can see question number 3 from 2019. So this anti-terror law became more stringent during this year. Amendment was made, so because of which the question was asked. And besides, in the last couple of years, actually, a lot of people who are seen as dissidents, they have been charged with Unlawful Activities Prevention Act, plus they being pro-left, they being promoting the leftist ideology, the left-wing extremism association with that. So all that things have been done. Right, so these are the broad themes that we can work upon. Besides, from exam point of view, really, it's not important. Okay, Supreme Court pulls up Punjab government for not constructing its part of Satluj Yamuna link. So this is a federal issue, right? A federal issue as well as interstate river water dispute. So a few days back we discussed, today there is an opinion on Cauvery, so there also we can cover it. What arrangements are there, that basically that part we will cover. Okay, one news I missed. One news, very important. We will look at immunity of MPs and MLAs if act involves element of criminality. Right. Okay. So very quickly, where here? Yes, this article. We know that MPs and MLAs have privileges, right? They have parliamentary privileges. So this comes from Article 105 of the Constitution. Now these privileges are individual, that is for individual MP MLAs, as well as collective, that is collectively for the House, Vidhan Sabha, Vidhan Parishad, Parliament, etc. Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha for the House, collective. Okay. Now when we talk about individual privileges, you know, there is a privilege that these MPs have enjoy immunity with reference to freedom of speech, immunity from legal liabilities, so that they can participate and vote freely in the respective houses. Right, so no influence is there, no fear or intimidation is there. That is the reason why this immunity has been given. So yes, so this is there. So you can read Article 105, Section 2 as well as Section 3. So no member of parliament shall be liable to any proceedings in any court. And third one, in respects, this is with the immunities of each house of the parliament. This one says that immunities are not, eventually they'll be, these has to be decided by the house itself by means of a law. So they will decide what is the rightful conduct, wrongful conduct. That is for the House to decide. Nobody else can decide. So these two articles are being discussed right now in the Supreme Court. And just now I have shared a Telegram link. They are discussing this issue about the criminal liability of the MPs and MLAs with respect to bribery. Bribery, for example, the MPs or MLAs be bribed to take a particular stand in the House or to vote in a particular way. So that is being discussed. And previously also this case has been heard. So this is known as the PV Narasimha Rao case. So I have shared the analysis with you, right? So you can read it. Very good analysis. Positive points as well as the negatives are covered nicely over here. Now, this case, this will again come up. I think today it will come up actually. So they will discuss all these issues. Now here immunity is being discussed, but only immunity with reference to bribery. The issue of bribery is being covered, not that entire immunity thing. They are not debating on that. Okay, 41% of, yes, not, okay. So recently the United Nations Population Fund, which is written as UNFPA, which is headquartered in New York. I hope you know I'm telling this for prelims. Okay. So they released a report known as India Aging Report. I had written everything over here. It's all gone. Okay. So India Aging Report. Now, and it tells us that there are people, especially the aged population, they are suffering from multimorbidity. That is, there are multiple diseases like non-communicable diseases. That is multimorbidity. For example, diabetes and high blood pressure. Right. Okay, so this problem is there. For Chandigarh, it is 41%, but overall in the country, it's slightly lower. It is at 27%. Okay. So I've basically referred to the findings in the Times of India newspaper. Okay, I can't find it. So too many open right now. Okay. Now, from exam point of view, how should we study this? So first of all, this topic shall be part of your Indian society or the governance part. That is, what is the government doing for the vulnerable sections? Right. So multimorbidity is on the rise. We also know that we are having the aging population. Something needs to be done with respect to that. And there are people who are obviously aging population do not earn income. They may be suffering from poverty also. Pension-like benefits are not there. So what needs to be done? So one could be the need for a policy for aging population or elderly population. Here you should have facts that we are going to have a bulge of the aging population in times to come, what issues that they have, and what remedial measures should be brought in. You should prepare a note on these lines. Right, and existing schemes of the government are also there. Here, basically, here, at least in the Chandigarh, they are basically focusing on creating awareness of the schemes. They are not saying that these schemes are inadequate. They are saying more needs to be done to create awareness about these schemes. Right, so this is the main theme on which you should be preparing. So aging population, geriatric healthcare for the aging. So what provisions, special provisions for healthcare should be there? So if you want to go finer, you can go there. All my highlight is erased. All my points that I've written. Farmers unable to strike white gold due to decreased area under cultivation. White gold basically refers to cotton. White cotton is white, and if farmers grow good amount of cotton, they can earn good amount of money. Money is gold. So farmers are unable to strike white gold because area under cultivation of cotton is coming down. Okay. So first, why? I mean, first of all, you should know, the facts like cotton, where cotton is grown. the ideal place where cotton is grown. So all that facts you should have. It needs a frost-free environment. It's a kharif crop. So those things you should know. Now there is a thinking amongst the policymakers that the green revolution which came in the Punjab, Haryana, Rajasthan, this belt over here, this is semi-arid, arid and semi-arid area. It's a dry area, not suitable for rice cultivation. In this belt, paddy is grown. Paddy is rice, and the rice is grown by flooding of fields, which leads to depletion of groundwater table. It's not suitable. So we should actually focus on bringing in green revolution to eastern India. So that should be the approach. And this area, we should move away from paddy and we should move towards sustainable climate smart agriculture. And this may include growing crops which are suitable to this region. For example, cotton. And cotton has widespread demand as well. And if that is done, we will get, cotton cash crop is grown, plus it will put less demand on the resources, plus it may eventually become white gold for the farmers. Okay. Now, the production has been nice, but, there is decreased area under cotton cultivation. So the government wants more land to come under cotton, but actually the land under cotton is coming less. Why? See, ultimately it is the decision of the farmer. Farmer will produce those things on which he knows that he will get money. So cotton, more remunerative for sure, but we know that the farmers know that it is paddy also of lower quality types, which is eventually bought by the Food Corporation of India. So there is an assurance that they will get MSP on paddy, while cotton, there is an insecurity. Not mentioned in this article, but that's a point that I've seen repeatedly when such news is there. Okay, next news. Curbs on new medical colleges draw ire. Okay, Tamil Nadu's ire. So very briefly, we'll cover this. So we have this National Medical Commission. Right? It's an umbrella body, regulatory body for the medical education. So they are saying that Tamil Nadu has invested a lot in the healthcare domain, and it has a lot of hospitals. But there are still certain districts, certain pockets of the state where availability of doctors are less. So Tamil Nadu feels that they need to build more hospitals. Now, NMC has conducted a study and they say that there should be 100 MBBS seats for 10 lakh of population. 100 MBBS seats for 10 lakh of population. In Tamil Nadu's case, there are more number of medical colleges. So there are more number of hospitals, more number of seats are there. So they are barred from opening more colleges or expansion of seats over here. So therefore, the Chief Minister is saying that this goes against the federal values. This is illogical. So all that criticism has been made. From outside CIS countries, India ranks third in number of business travelers to Russia. Okay, so let me first now close all this. Yes, okay. So what is the CIS? CIS is Commonwealth of Independent States. So this is primarily including countries, these were USSR countries. Russia is big, but USSR was much bigger. And it included some Eastern European countries and Central Asian countries, as you can see from the map over here. So CIS is basically, these countries who decided to become, voluntarily they became, they were USSR, part of USSR, but they decided to become part of the arrangement, CIS. And CIS is dealing with political, economic, security. So they work in multiple realms. So Commonwealth of Independent States. Okay. So India ranks third. The first country is China. Second country is not mentioned, but it says Iran, Dubai, UAE, Turkey. They are the countries which most likely travel to Russia. Why has political party that got proceeds of crime not been made accused in the case? This concerns this arrest of the Sanjay Singh, Manish Sisodia, etc. Okay. Defense Minister releases fifth positive indigenization list at two-day Navy seminar. This two-day Navy seminar is known as Swavalamban 2.0. So he's released what? Positive indigenization list. Right. Okay. So what we should do is, what measures have been taken by the government to promote indigenization of defense manufacturing, like indigenously making all-terrain vehicle, electric light vehicles, artillery guns, missiles, so all those things. So that you should prepare. It's a very important theme for GS3 internal security. Although not really internal. GS3 covers economy also, so defense economy. So that will again be GS3 only. I have shared this PIB on the Telegram, right? This part over here basically tells us about the schemes, the initiatives of the government in comma. It tells us what all steps are taken, so you can read at your own convenience. Now you must have read the expression positive indigenization list, right? So you read that expression. So what does that mean? So if there is a positive indigenization list, there will be a negative indigenization list also, should be there. So positive indigenization list is list of those items which according to the which are to be procured according to the defense acquisition procedure, and these items have to be indigenized, right? So those items have to be procured by the Defense Acquisition Council, which are indigenously manufactured, that is manufactured by Indians. Negative indigenization list means those lists which under no circumstances should be imported, right? So that is negative indigenization list. Then we have the what should we say? We have the FDI promoted to 74%. We are for working on the transfer of technology. So all those things are there, which are present in the PIB link that I've shared with you. I didn't analyze this topic. ISIS terror accused has riot link. But yes, ISIS concerns from in GS3 point of view. And I teach this, so the issue of lone wolf comes up when we refer to the IS issue. Now we come to the editorial opinion section. Thank God all this thing is there. Okay. Yeah, the morning knock. This is concerning the Newsclick, right? So same thing actually I had written over here. Then I thought I should tell you the front page itself. So yes. So this is basically saying that UAPA is invoked on these people from Newsclick. This is a denial of due process. So due process should be ensured so that investigation should be done, but at the same time, due process legal remedies should also be made available to the to those who are affected. Okay, next, a fraught border crossing. This is a article which is critical of the Modi, especially Narendra Modi. We know Narendra Modi when he goes abroad, US, etc. So he involves the diaspora. It's a good thing. He involves the diaspora. It's a good thing. People over there is sensitized. Plus, people living in other countries, they may be holding high offices. They may be doing well in the corporates. They can influence the policy making, decision making in such a way that it benefits India in the long run. So that's a good thing. But at the same time, this may have negative effects also. For example, there are groups which are pro-Modi. So if you go there and you speak, so there will be people who like you, but at the same time, you have politicized the diaspora and there will be people who do not like you. So do not like you. So those groups will also emerge. For example, the Khalistani thing has started up. Besides, for political leaders also of that host country, for example, US, Canada, etc. So the political leadership and the local population may also not sometimes not like it, making a case for Canada. Okay, so it's a double-edged sword. Now, in this article, we will basically first cover the history, right? History of policy, history of engagement with the diaspora. So, and eventually, lastly, we'll cover the Modi part, which I have told you right now. Okay. So, starting with the first thing. So, first of all, we have diaspora, that we have people from India who are of Indian origin who are living in different parts of the world. Some were forcibly sent by the British. So it happened during the British time as indentured labor. Right? For example, in Africa, South Africa, and the Caribbean, in the Latin American nations. So as we went as Indians went sent as indentured laborers. Or there were people from the freedom movement like Lala Hardayal, etc., who were in Canada, who were already there, who were relatively well off. They played a role in mobilization of opinion in that country. There were people in UK, there were people in Canada, US, right, who tried to change the opinion. For example, best example is Gadar Party is there. Madam Bikaji Kama is there. So many people are there. Okay, so they were people who, there were a lot of Indians, even during the pre-independence time, who were settled. And over the years, a lot of people have moved out of India and settled and doing well abroad. Now, when India got independent, so this question emerged as to how should India deal with the diaspora? How should India leverage the people, diaspora, who were living in abroad? So the post-independence policy has been documented by Niranjan Desai in his essay, right? In his work, it has been documented. So in an essay, India and its diaspora. So he was a diplomat. He says there were three shades of opinion. So there was the first group who said that there should be favorable relationship with the foreign countries, and the diaspora should be engaged in such a way that people who are settled abroad, right? So there is an option for Indians to settle abroad. So destination for Indians abroad. So this included people like Aga Khan, etc. Firoz Shah Mehta. So all these people were there. Firoz Shah Mehta was the moderate leader. Okay. So Firoz Shah Mehta. The second one is like Tej Bahadur Sapru. You must have studied in modern history. G.A. Nateshan, V.S. Srinivas Shastri. So the second group was there who said that Indian foreign policy should be in such a way with respect to diaspora that they are concerned about the well-being of the overseas Indians. So their migrant workers, etc. So their rights and welfare is being protected. So first group is saying destination, that Indians can go abroad, settle. The second thing was, second shade of opinion was that rights and well-being of the overseas Indians. Then those in position of power eventually, Gandhiji and Jawaharlal Nehru, they were not in favor of either of this. They said that people who are living abroad now, they should merge with the host countries. They are now citizens of that country. They should be loyal to that country. They believed in the idea of dual loyalty. So that was the idea. That is, you not be loyal to Canada as well as India at the same time. You are there, then be there only now. So that was the approach. They were also fraught with the concerns that may happen with politicization of the diaspora. Now come there were a lot of things happened, like, there were intelligent people, people who are doing well. So brain drain happened and all those things. Rajiv Gandhi said that today's brain drain may be tomorrow's brain gain. So that was also there. That these people who have worked over there, they will come back to India and contribute. And then we have Prime Minister Modi, who goes abroad, engages directly with the diaspora with his personal appeal, which is good actually. So but this has also led to politicization of the diaspora. Now, politicization can be obviously in favor of the leader, can also be against that leader, right? So that has happened right now. So we see, so this is a double-edged sword. That is what the author is saying. For example, the rise of Khalistani thing and everything that has also emerged in this time only. Okay. Now the themes for exam as to how we should go about it. So one is diaspora and foreign policy, right? Diaspora and foreign policy, how India can engage positively with the diaspora so that India is benefited. See, he's saying this, but we don't have to agree with this viewpoint, the author's viewpoint over here. And in fact, you would be expected the diaspora should be leveraged for the benefit of the country, very much required. China has done it. That's why more investment to China had come by the US. So that's that thing. We civil nuclear deal got through because of the help of the diaspora, right? So we gain by that also. Okay. Then the debate about brain drain in right. So people going out, the knowledgeable people are doing well, they're going out. So talented people. So the focus on reverse brain drain or brain gain, focusing on that. So that may be another theme. So these two topics, themes come to mind for the exam point of view. Next is Caged Pirates University is not doing it, too political. Drawing lines in Cauvery water. Okay, so very quickly, the arrangements that are there to deal with the issue of interstate river water dispute, we will revise it. Okay, so first of all, Cauvery river is there. It starts from the Karnataka, flows into Tamil Nadu. That means Karnataka is an upstream state, and it flows south and downwards. So it is Tamil Nadu is the downstream states. Okay. Now, so because it's an interstate river, there is obviously a dispute between Karnataka and Tamil Nadu. Both the states want greater share of water for their own respective population. Karnataka wants to store the water so that it can be diverted for the farmers. Tamil Nadu wants to do the same thing. Okay, so there is a interstate river water dispute. In the front page today, we refer to the Satluj-Yamuna link issue. Okay, here only thing is that this linking has not been done. Okay, now to deal with this issue is throughout the region. For example, Krishna River, you name it, there is a dispute. So Article 262 provides for it, and the Parliament enacted a law using Article 262, which is River Water Disputes Act. So it says that in case of a dispute, and if both the states are not able to negotiate by themselves, in that case, under the River Water Disputes Act, a tribunal shall be formed. So a tribunal will be formed. This tribunal is comprising of the expert members, maybe some from the judiciary. They will hear the cases of both the groups and come to a verdict. This verdict shall not be challenged. Verdict shall not be challenged at the higher court, which it keeps happening, by the way. Okay. Now, to implement this verdict, a management authority would be formed. For example, now we have Cauvery Water Management Authority. So a management authority would be formed, which will ensure that the terms of the tribunal, the verdict, is implemented. So that is the arrangement. Now, in the case of Karnataka, in 2018, the judgment was made, and eventually we have the Cauvery Water Management Authority. If you want to read more, you should read more from the PRS, but the same things I have consolidated over here. Now we come to the international section. So main news is this one about the Maldives. Maldives, I hope you know, India, south of 8-degree channel. That is Maldives, a group of small countries which we can refer to as archipelago. Okay. So here the president used to be Soli, who was pro-India. Now we have a new leader known as Muizu. He's won the election. He's the president. Okay. Now this person is known to be close to pro-China and anti-India. So this new president-elect has said that there is some presence of Indian Army, uh, Indian Defense Forces in Maldives. So they say that first thing he will do is remove them from Maldives, right? So that is there. So only that thing is explained. That thing is focused over here. So these forces that are there, the previous president is saying that it was basically an arrangement to create a dockyard, naval dockyard, to operationalize it. Plus, India has gifted some helicopters to Maldives. So to operate them, it has been done by the Indians. Plus, it helps in observation and reconnaissance activity in this region, observation activity in this region for piracy, etc. So that was the arrangement. Sovereignty is not affected, but he feels differently. Now, the problem is that, there is lack of transparency as to what really transpired between India and Soli at that point of time. Next, US House Speaker McCarthy ousted. So, like in India, we have Parliament. US Parliament is known as Congress. They have a Senate and a House. So the Speaker of the House was McCarthy. Now, recently, there was a concern, between Congress, a shutdown would take place of the government because of lack of funding. McCarthy played a role in negotiating with the executive, and they came up with this stopgap arrangement. Now, people from the Republican Party itself voted against McCarthy, and he is ousted from here. So within Republican also, there are people who are very, very Republican is a right-wing party, so there are people who are far right, so extreme views. So they played a role in expelling him from as a speaker. Okay, this is basically talking about the Global Investor Summit. So MOUs worth 19,000 crores have been signed, but normally we see that they signed there, but actual implementation is not happening. Okay. Next, center hikes LPG subsidy for Ujjwala beneficiary schemes by 50%. Elections are also coming. Okay. Now, from exam point of view, obviously Ujjwala Prelims. Ujjwala is the only welfare scheme that is done by the Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas. Okay, so that is first point. Second is UPSC may ask you questions these days about specifically about the schemes, like beneficiaries of the schemes, etc. So that you should know. For example, Atal Pension Yojana and new pension scheme have been asked, and very fine details are being asked. So this you should just read. You should have a basic idea that Ujjwala scheme is not for the whole of population. It is available only for women, that too who have attained 18 years of age. And there is no mention of below poverty line, but it says that people who are backwards, who are most backward classes, and Anna Yojana beneficiaries, and those enlisted under SCCC, socio-economic caste census households, those who are not well off, and poor households as per 14-point declaration. So those are eligible. So this is the 14-point declaration. There is a 14-point declaration by Jinnah also, 14-point formula. That is different. Okay, right. So these are the things. So these conditions, if those who cannot apply, I mentioned those who have refrigerator, etc. Next, RBI forms an external working group for ECL-based framework. What is ECL? Expected credit loss based framework. Okay, see, banks provide credit to industry, etc., borrowers, right? So that is there. Now banks are required to provide capital in case they have a loss. Now this was done at the expected, at the loss they have actually incurred, actuals. So this is not an ideal approach. Rather, the approach should be the banks which expect that you expect, okay, fine, you have not gotten money in the last 30 days or 60 days, 90 days. So it is expected that you will make a loss. So why not make provision beforehand? So expected credit loss basically works on that when money is not coming to the bank. So when bank expects that this will happen, so that is expected credit loss. So that framework is being defined. Coming to the explained section, when coming to the closure of this news analysis also. Disaster in Sikkim. How do glacial lake outburst floods happen? GS3 and GS1. The phenomena explaining is GS1, and if you look at it from disaster point of view solely, then it is GS3. So in Sikkim, a very tragic incident happened where 48 people, including 22 from the army, were missing after the South Lonak Lake burst. Lonak Lake burst. Now, what is a glacial lake? And by the way, this lake is in Sikkim. The Teesta River flows, so it is associated with the Teesta River. Teesta River flows from Sikkim. It goes now north to south. That is the flow. Right. So most of the northeastern states, the rivers flow like this, but in this case, it flows like this from Sikkim to parts of West Bengal and then flows into Bangladesh. Okay, so Donak, now what is a glacial lake? And then we'll come to the glacial lake outburst. So glacial lake is simply a body of water like this, which is dammed by glacier. It's easy. Water. So this must be the passage for the water to flow. So this is blocked by the glacier because of the freezing. This has not frozen, but this has frozen. So this is a glacial lake. All these are images of glacial lakes. Some are just lakes actually, but this is definitely glacial lake. Now this may be because there may be ice underneath, glacial underneath. There may be glacial over this, but downwards it is soft because it is water, right? And then this block in front of this also. Okay, now imagine this glacier melts, or this glacier breaks for certain reason, right? Because of global warming, the warming is taking place. So this weakens. So as a result, there will be sudden outburst of water from this region, and the path from which the water flows, right, river flows, that will be suddenly swelled, and people who are living nearby will be affected adversely. So that is an event of glacial lake outburst. So glacial lake is defined over here, and glacial lake outburst is mentioned over here. Okay, next is this I did not do right now. Okay, my focus was mainly on this article that you can read also yourself. Okay, next, Nobel Prize for Chemistry. It has been given to these individuals, right? Okay, now what did they do? They were awarded for the discovery and synthesis of quantum dots. So this we have to understand. And quantum dots are nothing. They are basically nanoparticles which exhibit different properties from the parent particle. So we'll understand this. So you see, all elements like gold, silver, iron, copper, all the elements, they exhibit common property. Let's say there is a sheet of copper. I cut it from here, or I take this as a whole. It will exhibit same properties, same elements that will be reactive to a particular chemical acid, right? So they will have common properties. They're similar. They are malleable, ductile, all those things are there because they have the same element. But it was observed by these scientists that at nano level, nano is nanoparticle size, 1 to 100th billion of a meter. It is also 10 raised to power minus 9. So at the nano level, meters. So at this level, the particles exhibit different properties. Same elements exhibit different properties when they are at a nano level. So an example, the study was done with copper chloride, CuCl2. So what the scientists did was that they used this copper chloride, they melted it and then allowed to cool it. Right? They allowed to cool it. So they got crystals of different sizes. Now, when light was thrown on them, right, the larger crystals had the conventional form of light. When light falls on something, you get a particular color, like for example, black plastic or something or the other. But where the elements were of nano size, there the interaction of the body with the light was different. So different colors were coming up. So this shows that at nano level, some property changes take place. So this was one of the ways of showing that some changes take place. At nano level, some elements show different properties from the conventional or the parent element. Now, those which depict different property, they are known as quantum dots. And one thing to keep in mind is that nano is not subatomic. Nano is not subatomic. It is a proper atom. In fact, it may have a group of atoms or it may have billions of atoms together. So it is not at a subatomic level. This you need to know. Now, why do we say this? Why there was a need for us to look into this aspect? Because according to the quantum theory, when we go at subatomic level, the elements will show a different property. So at a subatomic level, we expect this. This is, in theory, it is substantiated by the quantum theory. So this is because of electrons constrained in smaller space. Because of that, it will happen. It affects the arrangement of the electrons, protons, neutrons. That arrangement is affected mainly of the electrons, because proton and neutron is in the nucleus. So the less space for the electrons. But it is exhibited at the at a bigger level also. So that is quantum dots. So that is it. How size of particles changes their behavior. So that part is covered. What are quantum dots? That is covered. Now, why is this important? This we don't get over here. So for this means applications of nanoparticles and how we can leverage this. So for this, you can refer this from Wikipedia, applications of nanotechnology, right? So you can very well define what are these quantum dots or the exhibition of different properties at the nano level, and then come to the applications. So this I have shared, Wikipedia link I have shared with you. Okay, so this concludes our news analysis. Thank you for streaming into our YouTube channel with me, Shubhashish.